Good morning, this is Dwight Colby Smith, Richmond, Virginia. It's good seeing you this morning. Welcome. It's good to be with you. It's morning here. Wherever you get it is the right time. So I'm sitting here this morning in just the quietness, the stillness and silence of mind, contemplating on what I'll be reading and recording right after this. But this seemed like, yeah, let's get this out too. I thought about the media. Most of what we see in the media is the animal side of nature, of humanity, I'm sorry. The animalistic side of man, okay? That where we have to meet our basic needs of survival, clothing, shelter. I think that's it. And there are those humans who want to be the biggest, baddest, whether it's in crime or boxing or gunfighter or criminal out witnessing the Crime Stoppers. Just those that want their way selfishly and they'll get it however they want it. So that gets a lot of the news, a lot of the news is on that. And what is missing from humanity is the spiritual nature of humanity. See, I have to go into meditation for this. Religion is supposed to be the spiritual nature of humanity, but that's a big but. It humanizes spirituality. It limits it. Like most of what I learned in Christianity is my reward is after this life by being good in this life. That was never good enough for me. I heard once from a Baptist minister, some of the things I say, well, the truth stays with me. That's the bottom line. The truth stays with me. I was at a retreat in Keene, New Hampshire, Christian retreat for youth. And something that someone said was, when does infinity start? When does it begin? So that was in the context of, it doesn't start after you die. If it's infinity, it's got to start even before you're born. So that was the point. So when and as religion spiritualizes their teachings, we will see a brand new world. The animal nature of man will be lessened dramatically because there will be fewer to participate and will be change in the mindset, which I have 3 YouTubes on, mindset of humanity. Now this seems scary to many, but it was scary to the Jews when Jesus walked among them. And this is scary to the Christians of today because it's not talking about Jesus dying for our sins. You see, the fear of this is the church loses control. They control us with guilt, shame, blame for killing God's only Son. What a limitation to think that God has only one Son in the vastness of the universe. To think there's only one special person, and that in order to pay for man's sin, that he has to sacrifice his son, as Abraham was told to do with Isaac, but God stepped in and said no. Anyway, that's a whole other topic that I'm just saying, and the church to me now, the church now is to free us and bring us into the spirituality of Jesus, the Father, the doer of all the works, the deeds, the healings, the speaking, the everything that Jesus did was the Father, the life of him. This is what we are to find within us. And the churches can now take all that they've been talking about, which is all true, on the humanized spiritual level, but on the spiritualized level of humanity, it's boundless and limitless and freeing, guiltless, shameless, blameless. It's not saying the bad deeds are not punished. Bad deeds are their own reward, and they receive their punishment. But that's a whole other topic as well. Once we find peace, love, God, Father, Christ, Buddha, Muhammad, once we find the teacher within ourselves, we become that which they came to give us. And we are free. We are free to be non-judgmental. That's the biggest freedom we have. Love has no judgment. Love is the truth that makes us free, makes us free. I think it even said shall. Then know the truth. Know the truth. And the truth shall make you free. Now that's a commandment. That's a command. That's a definite, determinate, emphatic statement. Know the truth. Not believe it. Not think about it. Not doubt it. Because knowing is without doubt. Know the truth. What is the truth? The greatest truth Jesus gave us is the Father and I are one. Call Father whatever you want. Infinite intelligence and I. Only Creator and I. Love and I. Truth and I. Then change that and all the way through to as. Because it's God as me, Father as me that does the works. I'm just what I like to call the puppet in a very positive sense. Yes, I do have free will as this puppet. But my free will acts out the puppet. So I can act it out in fear and animalistic instincts and wants and desires and lusts. I can act it out in perfection, in beauty, in harmonious cooperative coexistence with all around me, nurturing and nourishing them as they nurture and nourish me, according to my will. I decide how they nurture. I decide what I receive and what I reject, eliminate, neutralize, cast away. So I'm saying this because yesterday I recorded what the other YouTube is Christ letter 2D. And it's the entire account, first-hand account of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, beginning with the night before and what he experienced and what came to him during the night, knowing the next day he was going to be speaking to the villagers, the truth of existence, healing, everything. It includes the Beatitudes, the Golden Rule, the story of the coat and the cloak, and the walking the extra mile, and much, much more. Directly from the Christ universal, the Christ of Jesus, to the Christ of you and me individually. So I invite you to listen to that too. I use X for Christ. The capital X is the Roman symbol for Christ. So I use that to distinguish the Christ that I know from the Christ that the Christians teach. It's a different Christ. It's a Christ that's not humanized. It's a Christ of truth, of wholeness, of infinite intelligence, of universality, of which we have come, of which everything comes, the earth, the trees, the stars, everything. So thank you for being with me for this time. It went longer than I expected, but I enjoyed what I heard. Thank you. Be blessed. Have a blessed day. a blessed week, a blessed month, a blessed year. Make this be the year that we bring peace on earth to all humanity and all beings, in form and before form and after form. God bless you. Namaste.